Hey guys, has this lockdown made you lose track of your fitness goals? Are you starting your resolution for 2021 and you want to lose weight but need some help? Introducing my affordable workout plans for men and women. With packages starting at $5, this offer can't be beat. Go to radicallatino.com to find out more. Hey guys, do you have a product you want more eyes on? Advertise with the Radical Latino Show, where over 10K podcast downloads and the number 25 spot on the 55 All Latin podcast list. You'll want your product heard on everyone's phones and cars. Go to radicallatino.com/contacts and start advertising today.
Playing the Radical Latino Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands in the air for New York's very own.
Radical
Latino is taking you to another level.
Radical Latino, you're buffing it.
You hear that? It's like the pulse of the street, a hole in the chest.
Yo! Welcome back to another episode, my people. It's your host, the Radical Latino, aka number 25 on all Latin podcasts, aka Mr. Unsuable for the 23rd week running. What is going on? I hope everybody is doing great. I hope everybody's having a great weekend and week and all of that jazz. You know, hopefully everybody's doing great and good. Everybody has jobs. I know we're still going through this pandemic and all that, and some of us are getting through it a little bit better than others. So just let's pray for all of us to get out of this. Get this vaccine gets distributed amongst everybody and everybody goes back to normal. Let's just hope. You know what I mean? Let's just hope. Now, a couple of things I want to get out the way first. A couple of things. I want to give an update on the DC raid thing that occurred. So, first of all, some good news on the DC raid. One of the guys, I don't know if you guys saw him, it was one of the black state officers or Capitol officers or whatever the case is. He the one that was getting chased or whatever the case is. Anyway, he got upgraded to, I think, was it deputy or something like that. Basically, during the inauguration of Joe Biden, he was seen escorting Joe Biden and his team to the inauguration and stuff. So he became like the overseer deputy or something like that. So good things came out of that. You know what I'm saying? Good things came out of that. Now, other things that happened, throughout that time, a lot of these DC raiders, they've been getting arrested left and right. And the funny thing is, just the sheer amount of buffoonery that these guys are talking about, because you can tell these people never got in huge trouble with police. You could definitely tell. Never gotten in huge trouble with police, but for some reason, because they got their privilege, you know what I mean? Never got in trouble with, but for some reason they feel like they have to lie to these federal officers, because one of the lies that I've read, and you guys are probably gonna flip the same way I did. One of the lies that I read said, the dude said he doesn't remember because he was sleepwalking. My man literally said, I don't remember because I was sleepwalking. What? What kind of bullshit is that? What kind of bullshit? Last time I checked, if I commit a crime and I'm like, oh, I don't remember, officer, I was sleepwalking, and then they'll be like, well, you better remember quick because somebody's gonna go to sleep for a long time if you don't. You know what I mean? Like, yo, what kind of crazy shit is that? One of these hillbillies, raided the Capitol building, and when they got questioned, they said, yo, I don't remember, I was sleepwalking. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh my God. Oh my fucking God, so insane. So And mind you, the majority of these protesters, and I'm not even gonna say protesters, rioters, and sheeple, the majority of them are city employees, firefighters, cops, EMT workers and shit. So that was kind of interesting. It was just very, very, very interesting. And people are getting arrested left and right. People are going on no ban fly list and all that other shit. So the shit's getting crazy. Now these people are they were kind of I'm reading forums and stuff, and seeing some online activity, and these people are pissed off that the president isn't pardoning all those rioters. I wonder why. I don't know. I wonder why, when you got a fucking rich motherfucker, right, who is emboldening y'all on some racist shit, right, saying all these other racist stuff, and then mind you, in some of his rallies, he even said that, yo, if you hit somebody or whatever, don't worry about it, I'll take care of the legal fees. You know what I mean? In the DC Capitol riot, he was like, yeah, we're gonna go out there, like he was actually gonna join, and he didn't join. He's just sitting back like a leader, like all these other leaders. When they go to war, they're not the ones fighting it. We are. We're the ones fighting it. These motherfuckers don't care. They have our lives like little pawns. You know what I'm saying? And these people are like, oh my God, how come Trump didn't pardon us? He's the same person that he's always been. One of these capitalists, man. You guys really think he was gonna? Come on now. Like y'all cannot be that dumb. You know what I'm saying? Y'all cannot be that dumb. Let's keep it real, man. Come on now. Now, not only that, QAnon, all these other people from QAnon and all that, right? They're losing support too, because this QAnon movement is based on all these conspiracy theories about Hillary Clinton is bathing in children's blood and all this other dumb shit. Like, people cannot be that idiotic. I'm not saying it never happened, but now let's keep it real. People can't be that idiotic, man. Bathing in children's blood. What the fuck? Are you dumb? All that other shit is stupid. So QAnon, obviously, nothing that QAnon said actually has been, proven to be right. So, they're losing support for QAnon, and rightfully so. And people are leaving. Not saying that QAnon doesn't have big support still. That group does, but it's a bunch of conspiracy theory. That's all it is. It's just a bunch of Alex Jones motherfuckers. You know what I mean? So it is what it is with that. You know what I mean? So those are the two updates that I wanted to talk about real quick. Bunch of reptilian believing pieces of shit. Come on now, let's keep it real. Anyway, something else that I found kind of interesting. Apparently, me, Tina, and some other YouTubers are in a forum on Lipstick Alley. Apparently, I have three chat forums or whatever on Lipstick Alley. Tina has 2 or whatever, and me and Tina both have 1 together. So you know what I mean? Apparently we're on Lipstick Alley and people are just discussing different things about what we do and all this other stuff, and I'm like, okay, cool, I guess. We're on Lipstick Alley. That's great. Hopefully nobody gets my message misconstrued or whatever the case is, but okay. I don't know why. I would see why Tina is on Lipstick Alley, but I don't know why I would be on Lipstick Alley, because I'm assuming Lipstick Alley is a gossip website, so I don't really revolve myself around with gossip, but I guess, and also I found a couple of forums that Eddie was also, they made forums for Eddie too, talking about oh, they're accepting a gay guy in the divesting community and all this other bullshit. So I'm like, I guess I don't know, but it was really interesting. It was really interesting that how I had a few forums on Lipstick Alley and people were discussing it. One of the comments was like, Radical Latino is annoying, but he does donate. Oh Jesus, I find that hilarious because I guess my reputation precedes me, I guess, you know. So shout out to whoever put me on Lipstick Alley. I don't know, shout out to them, you know. Just don't get my message misconstrued and all that, talking about I hate white people and all that other shit, you know. Not even close, you know what I mean? Not even close. Anyway, moving on to something else. I saw the movie American Skin recently. I want to give a shout out to Real Talk. We should be doing, I'm going to correspond with her. We should going to be doing like a interview in the future. But I saw American Skin, the movie, and oh my god, that shit was deep. That shit basically, first of all, that whole thing got me triggered, you know what I mean? It hit point for point for point for point. I started to reevaluate certain things that I was seeing and watching, and certain agendas. But for those who don't know what American Skin is, American Skin basically depicts the life of a dad who lost his son due to police brutality during a car stop. The son gets shot dead and all that, and then we get taken a year later, and you know, the dad, you know, takes matters into his own hands, and after they find out the cop isn't going to face any justice, he takes matters into his own hands and kidnaps the cop and everybody else up in the precinct in order for his son to get justice. And I'm not gonna spoil the movie, but the movie is real deep, and the movie is real deep. I definitely give it a 4 out of 5. You know, they do speak on a lot of what Black and Latin people go through. They speak on a lot about, you know, the injustices that happen in the corporation, you know, in the systematic system. Obviously you do get the opposite side, you know, you get the opposite side with retractors, as we always do, you know. And I think it was tastefully done. I wouldn't change anything in the movie except for certain parts. Knowing me, I would have killed a couple of people. Knowing me, I would have shot a couple of people. That it's over. You know what I mean? It's over. Here you go, bang. You know, done. And would have never changed anything. The ending would have never changed anything. You know what I'm saying? Because in the end of the day, you can change lives in that room. That's cool. At the end of the day, you're not gonna change the overall system. You're still gonna get punished, rightfully so. So I wouldn't have changed nothing. I just would have changed certain actions up in there. You know, that's what I would have done. You know what I'm saying? That's as much as I'm gonna say. That's as much as I'm gonna say on the movie without spoiling it. American Skins, it's a 4 out of 5 on my book. It's a must watch. Go watch it. Rent it, whatever. It's really cheap right now. I bought it. I own it, so I bought that joint on iTunes. So definitely recommended. It's a must watch. Definitely recommended. Now I am going to read some of the comments from the last episode 127, interviewing Marcel. So shout out to my brother Marcel. Shout out to him. Majority of the comments got deleted by YouTube. I really don't know why. As this recording, that episode has 571 views on my podcast that has close to 2,000 downloads. But for some reason, YouTube seemed to delete most of my the comments on the interview. I have no idea why. I really don't know, but it is what it is. We just gonna have to fight through it, you know. I don't know why they got deleted, but it is what it is. So Crazy Boy says, I often wonder why things that people could easily search up and verify are dismissed as a conspiracy theory unless it involves white people. LOL. So the thing is, like, it really baffles me when people present facts against someone's narrative and they just literally go out their way to just dismiss it, and they don't even dismiss it intellectually. There's a couple of things that people say about white folks that isn't true. You know what I'm saying? Apparently this is what I hear, when white people were invented, they were hairy like dogs. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, that obviously that could be dismissed, you know what I'm saying? But other things are conspiracy theories, other things are not, you know. So it really depends, you know what I'm saying? It just really depends. Macho says, great interview, Radical. Marcel seems like a very knowledgeable person. Shout out to Macho. Yep. Even though Macho be you know, trying to troll with his stupid ass, but it is what it is. Danielle says he has some good points, but in his religious info is kind of misleading. If it's coming from an anti-Catholic Catholic website, the info is skewed and fit your view as such. Catholic, Orthodox, cryptic, or Protestant rock. So shout out to Danielle. Yeah, I kind of agree with what you're coming from. Xtina, shout out to Xtina. Y'all should go subscribe. Shout out to Marcel, good interview. Yes. In my perspective, also said interesting discussion, especially going with the white nationalism in Spain. Yeah, hermano, you know, me and you already spoke. You know, in the future, we're supposed to be having a online discussion. So, you know, let's look. You should be looking forward to that. Frank and Front. Shout out to him. He says, very informative interview. Thanks for sharing. I can best relate to the part where he says living in Puerto Rico helped him get back to his roots and helped him speak Spanish. It just goes to show that despite our differences, our experiences are similar. Very, very, very true. Very, very, very true. And that's something I've always been talking about and speaking on. 100% true. There's nothing different between Black and Latin people. Nothing different, you know, besides certain cultural differences, certain mannerisms, certain, you know, things, certain belief systems, you know. But for the most part, it's always the same. Always the same. You know what I'm saying? So very, very, very true. So shout out to Frank and on Front. And if you want your comments read, you know, on this episode, make sure you go to my YouTube channel under episode 128 and write your comments down, and I will read them next week. You know what I'm saying? I will definitely read them next week. Now, moving on to my first topic. Stocks, Reddit, Gamestop, and all of that. Oh my God. So for those who don't know, GameStop was in the news because it went crazy. The stock shot up like 300%. The stocks was going up so, crazy that it was a game changer for certain people. Certain people actually made money out of it. I definitely didn't. I definitely didn't make no money out of it, but it is what it is. But a lot of people did, and a lot of people will caught off guard through this whole thing. So I'm hearing a lot of misinformation out there talking about how this is insider trading and people made money. No, this had nothing to do with insider trading whatsoever. Nothing, literally zero to do with insider trading. Had nothing to do with that. This is what it was. So, for those who don't know what short selling is when basically I bet, right, that a stock of a certain company is gonna go down, and I just put money into it. Doesn't really matter. I'm giving you guys the layman's terms of it, right? The stock is gonna go down, and I put money into it, and the stocks goes down no matter whichever percentage. I make money out of it. That's what short selling is, basically on layman's terms. People on Reddit decided to not only up the price of the stocks on GameStop and fuck over these short sellers, but up the price on many stocks that were going down. Believe it or not, a lot of people were just focusing on GameStop, but it was also AMC was a part of this whole thing, whole stock thing. So let me just break it down for you. So what ended up happening was on Reddit, where everything pretty much good and bad happens. On Reddit, the stock market subreddit, they all decided to basically buy small amount of stocks that these hedge funds, brokers were basically short selling, for big gains. So they just decided to fuck with that. They all put their money together and bought stocks of GameStop to the point where they did it in such a rapid and big pace that the stock of GameStop went up 300%, right? This made the news. This was making, the rounds, and all these hedge fund people were scrambling to get their shit together because it was short selling. Their thing was, if the stock market of this company goes down, then we make money, and we're talking about millions and millions and billions of dollars, right? So these people decided to fuck with that, and rightfully so, to the point where they found other stocks that were being short sold, like AMC, and they decided to do that. Now, this is where the shit goes left, by the way. This is where the shit goes left and gets a little fucked. The apps that people were using to buy these stocks were Cash App, were Robinhood, and all these TD Ameritrade, all these financial apps that are on the App Store to buy, for regular people to buy stocks, right? The way these apps work is the apps is like, they're like a broker. That's basically what it is. These apps, they act like a broker, and they don't charge you a broker's fee. Usually, the old way of doing it, you have to go get a broker, go to Wall Street, go get a broker, or call a broker, and you will buy stocks through them. They put in the bid, and you also got to pay them their fee. Now, that, nowadays everything gets eliminated with that, obviously. So now these apps are considered the brokers, right? So that's what happened, right? Now, these institutions said, fuck that, and decided, Robinhood actually decided to take away the buy option from GameStop and all these other, short selling marketplace institutions, and only had the sell option and the hold option. They didn't have no buy option. Cash App did the same thing, TD Ameritrade did the same thing, and all these other apps did the same thing, to the point where local politicians from the left and right actually came together and agreed on one thing. This is 100% fucked up. Rightfully so. How many times have we heard, hey, take this money and invest it. Take this money and invest it. Take this money and invest it. This shows right here when you start fucking with the upper powers, when you start fucking with the powers that be, the people that are really going to start, you know, getting big gains, big money and big gains from a certain institution that they are with, and they don't like what you're doing, they will find ways to stop you. Now, there's talks of class action lawsuits actually happening through Robinhood, and some of the ones are online right now. I don't know how true that is, but I'm definitely gonna keep you guys updated on that. But there's actually some class action lawsuits happening, right? And the way I see this is the new Occupy Wall Street. When Occupy Wall Street first happened, it was basically to protest Wall Street and their fuckery, especially with the 2008 crash, you know, housing market crash. The shit was fucked up. The shit was fucking crazy. It fucked people up. You know what I'm saying? So that's all the emotions were all high, and yes, it was a good start, and then it just fizzled out. You know what I mean? It fizzled out. You started hearing certain narratives and certain things that were happening in the parks or whatever the case is, but still it fizzled out. But the point is that this is the new Occupied Wall Street, and this showed vulnerabilities that not only we are able to pull our money together to fuck you guys up, but also it shows that the power of these big institutions don't play fair. The powers of these big institutions will literally see that you are fucking with their pockets, and they will stop it, which is insane. Now this goes beyond race, to be completely honest. This goes beyond race. This goes into class. You know, this goes into class system, class warfare, the elites versus the poors and stuff. So this goes beyond that, and this is actually on that, but it goes beyond race, because these people who are pulling their money together are exposing a flaw in the system, and rightfully so. You guys gotta understand, when you fuck with somebody's money and their pocket and their wallet, you're fucking with their livelihood. These big hedge fund managers, these ETF people, they saw that and they said, nah, you fucking with my livelihood. And mind you, these institutions, like these apps that are supposed to be here for the people, for the little old guys that live paycheck to paycheck, and they got a couple of extra dollars to invest in something, and hopefully it grows into a nice cushion future. Those apps were like, yeah, no, we're still part of the system. We're still part of the organization, so go fuck yourself. It's insane. It's 100% insane. The fact that you have big lobbyist groups out here doing the same thing that regular people were doing. Goldman Sachs, you think Goldman Sachs haven't done this? They upsell stock prices all the time, and then sell them off, and then they're basically worth nothing. You think Goldman Sachs hasn't done that? They've done that and plus more. You know what I'm saying? They've done that plus more. So the fact that this basically blew a big hole into the whole agenda says a lot. It does says a lot. It says, like, once enough's enough. You know, you mean to tell me the little old guy can't fucking get a leg up? You gotta stop that too? When's enough's enough? You know? And this is beyond, you know, feeling powerful and you know, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. No, this is literally being stopped. You literally go on every financial app out here and there was literally no option for you to buy shit. It says a lot. It says a lot about the institution that we live in. It says a lot the institution that we're a part of. And it says a lot about the institution that some of us protects. It says a lot. And this Gamestop, you know, Reddit thing, it should be a big eye-opener for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Big eye-opener for everybody. I'm definitely gonna keep my eye on this news, you know, this news, and keep you guys updated, and definitely let you guys know if something comes up, right? So moving on to my next topic. Puerto Rico declares a state of emergency. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. So Gamestop declares a state of emergency, and you must wonder why a state of emergency? What the fuck is going on? Apparently there's been multiple murders throughout the years of women, literally just women dying and transgender people dying, literally. You know, I think what was the number? I think 2 a day. So it's to the point where they declared a state of emergency. Like, what the fuck is going on? This shit is insane. This shit is fucking insane, to the point where I reached out to some of my Puerto Rican family and some of my Puerto Rican friends who lived there or still live there, and they're telling me a lot of things that's actually happened. Apparently, there was a case of a 17-year-old female who died because her boyfriend and her boyfriend's brother, you know, came together and started fucking her ass up. The main reason why is because the boyfriend thought that she was talking to some other dude, that he told her not to speak to. And he basically concocted this in his mind that it was happening, or whatever the case is, and you know, he did what he did. You know what I'm saying? Come to find out, that wasn't the case. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't the case. The guy that he was worried about was actually gay. You know, and this shorty basically lost her life for nothing. There was another story of a known transsexual in the community who, you know, was basically going to work, or whatever the case is, and I believe she went into the wrong neighborhood, or somebody from another neighborhood that didn't know her, you know, was in her neighborhood, something like that. Long story short, homegirl ended up dead in a ditch because of whatever reason. The article didn't really specify. And multiple articles that I've been basically reading and coming across is basically the same thing. And the statistics basically are saying the majority of these women who are dying in Puerto Rico are domestic violent cases. These are the women who are either in relationships and they're dying in the hands of their beloved. You know, with the transgender angle, I think the statistics show they're basically like sex workers, or whatever the case is. So they're dying in that type of line of work, you know. So either way it's fucked up. You know, nobody should be dying for whatever that you're doing. Listen, for my Boricuas, for my Puerto Rican people, please listen up real quick. Especially people in the islands, because hopefully no Puerto Ricans think like this here, you know, but especially in the islands. listen, women aren't property. Listen, I understand that we as Latin people, we have this machismo type of thing. We gotta be, we gotta be a provider and all that. Women gotta stay in the house. Listen, it's 2021. Times is changing everywhere. You should not be putting your hands and feet and elbows to no woman, okay? I'm just keeping it real. The fact that Puerto Rico had to put a state of emergency means that the shit has gone too far. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Are these, for what I'm reading on these articles, is that the majority of these men are suffering from either some are suffering from mental illness, which is not an excuse, but still, it's an explanation. Mental illness, and the majority of the time is low self-esteem and jealousy. So I'm gonna be talking to my men for a second right now. In the island, yo, mi boricuas, check this out. What the fuck? All right, listen. If you're with a shorty and she's talking to somebody else, or you suspect that she's talking to somebody else, leave. Why beat her senseless? Leave. It's over. You know what I'm saying? It's over. That's it. Find another woman. On the rate that this shit is going, y'all gonna be running out of women by next week. By the rate this is going. God damn. What the fuck? Is it that fucking hard to go? Listen, I know as a Latino, I know we be writing some fucking love stories. I get it. Yeah. Listen, every Aventura song is a fucking love story. I get it. A woman did me wrong and all that other shit. Fucking leave. You don't gotta put hands, feet, elbows, and toes to a shorty just because you think that she's cheating. Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? And again, it's just the majority of these cases are in relationships. Some other ones are in sex work, and some other ones are during, I think, human trafficking. So that's a big angle right there. Now, Puerto Rico is trying to actually defend this. Puerto Rico is trying to defend this and try to get over it and try to put some organizations into the works for this. Apparently, right now they're thinking about putting an app together for women to basically report any domestic violence that they're receiving, which I believe is a good thing. But I believe education for the men out there is a lot better. Experience with women out there should be a lot better, because if we're talking about low self-esteem and we're talking about jealousy and stuff, it's because these men don't have the experience to be around or with a lot of women. When I was younger and I started dating first, yes, I was getting fucking pissed off and jealous. Like, why is she talking to him for? You know what I mean? That was when I was on some young shit. I was on some young dumb shit. I wasn't experiencing relationships like the way I am now. You know what I'm saying? That right there shows the lack of inexperience that you have. That right there shows the insecurity levels that you have acquired. Because when you feel like showing how you're supposed to be expressing yourself is through violence, that says a lot. That says a lot about how you are as a person. It says that you can't express yourself verbally. You have to literally act out violently in order to express yourself, and you can't control your emotions the way you should have as an adult. That says a lot. That says a lot. And for my Boricuas out there, listen, please stop the goddamn fucking violence within women, because that shit is insane over there. That shit is insane over there. There's no reason for a state of emergency whatsoever. No reason. But apparently so, there needs to be a reason, because y'all motherfuckers hands, feet, elbows, and toes out there like goddamn. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? that's what I'm gonna just leave there real quick. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just say that right there. Anyway. Moving on to my next topic. The divesting community. Oh shit. The divesting community. Oh my god. Now I wanted to say to speak my piece on this first. First of all, I'm gonna talk real quick about the divesting community, and then I'm gonna talk about what the fuck happened. Actually, no. Let me say what the fuck happened first, and then I'm gonna talk about the divesting community. All right. So this NFL player, Chad, I forgot his last name. Whatever, it doesn't really matter. Chad, right? Beat up his girlfriend that, you know, is black, right? And he beat her, and the reason why I'm putting race into this is there's a reason. So he beat her up so violently, broke her jaw, snapped her elbow, and all that other stuff, to the point where she passed out unconsciously, and he stood there eating while she was unconscious, thinking that she was dead, and he was totally fine with it, right? That's what happened, right? And Tariq Nasheed put out a tweet that made the divesting community kind of go a little crazy. He basically put out a tweet saying something in the likes of, "This is what happened. How come the divesting community is so quiet on this one?" or something to that effect, right? How come the divesting community is so quiet, right? Which is 100% true. Why is the divesting community so quiet? Now let me give you my thoughts on the whole divesting community real quick. These are my thoughts. First of all, for what my understanding of the divesting community is divesting is usually black women talking about divesting away from black men and going into other races, right? That's the reason why I put race into this, because they're making it racial. So this is the reason why, right? So that's what the whole divesting community is. Don't be race loyal. Go to another race or whatever the case is. You know, open up your dating options, etc., etc., etc. Which I don't see nothing wrong with that whatsoever. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, people can find love literally anywhere. You know, you can find love going to fucking Hawaii than going to Norway. You know what I'm saying? You can find love anywhere with any race whatsoever. So that right there, obviously, you know, it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? It definitely makes sense. This is where I believe their narrative fucks up and it shifts. And this is how I'm gonna explain it. It fucks up and shifts because they go up and beyond talking negatively about black men, how black men ain't shit, and they have statistics to back this up, talking about black men beat women a lot more, kill women a lot more, and all this other nonsense, blah, 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 in order to justify why they will divest, right? The way I see it is all groups of men, regardless of race, have the ability to be assholes, okay? All groups of men, regardless of race, have the ability to fuck somebody up, regardless of who they are, okay? It does not matter the groups of men that you pick from your community or outside your community. We all men have the ability to be some fucked up individuals, okay? Now, for some reason, and this is something I've always found, I have no idea why. For some reason, is these groups of women who have some bad experiences with black men and they lump the whole black men community into the same bag, saying this is the reason why I'm not fucking around with black men anymore, all this other stuff, right? Which is really idiotic and dumb, because the majority of the stories that I always hear is that the black man will leave you, as a baby mom. He's always out there in the street hustling. He's not productive and all this other bullshit, right? They don't see you as an asset. You got to get yourself a high value man. All of this other craziness, right? And it's for some reason one group of man that is being always described in one particular environment, and that's the hood. So all of these women who are arguing and complaining about black men are all describing the same black man in the same environment, the hood. No fucking shit. If somebody's in the hood, regardless if they're black or white, they're gonna come out. You're gonna find some fucked up people. You're gonna actually find some good, decent people, some here and there, but you are gonna find some fucked up people in the dating world who are in the hood. How about you don't date somebody in the hood and see how your experiences goes? Huh? Have you guys thought? I don't know. Have you guys thought about that? You know what I'm saying? How about, I don't know, you look at the statistics to see if that's really true, because for what I found was that the majority of domestic violence cases actually happen in white households. Isn't that interesting? The majority of the domestic violence cases amongst interracial couples happen when a white man is with a black woman. Interesting. Isn't that funny? So I'm just gonna come out and say it. Is it really divesting from another community, or just hating your own community, and you're using that whole divesting thing as an scapegoat? Because this story right here, the NFL chat dude, blows a big ass hole in that logic of the divesting community, does it not? Puerto Rico declares a state of emergency. So I also hear this narrative: Latin people are way better than black men. Well, Puerto Rico declared a state of emergency because all Latin women are dying from what? From the hands of Latin men. So I don't think we're better off either. You know what I'm saying? Some will go to the Asian community. The Asians are better. They have less single moms and all that other stuff. Last time I checked, how many videos has it come out with Asian men beating the shit out of black women inside their stores? The Western community never said nothing about that. That's insane, isn't it? Wow, real crazy. Insane. Wow. So the Western community basically looks over all of that, and says, you know what? Nah, black men are still fucked up. It's to the point. Listen, somebody send me a live stream of some lady giving excuses to why this Chad dude did what he did. She said that my man was bipolar. What? Oh, he didn't have the right medicine. And mind you, she was on this. I believe she was on a live stream with somebody that's in the divesting community. Oh no, totally laughed it away. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, he was bipolar. You better watch out now. All this other bullshit. Like, yo, what the fuck? I thought that was supposed to be protecting black women. It has nothing to do with that. I believe some of the leaders, because I'm not really into this community, some of the leaders of the divesting community is very toxic. That's what I believe. I believe some of the leaders in the divesting community is extremely toxic, and they have their own agenda in order to get themselves ahead, because they have nothing to do with protecting black women. Because if they did, they would not only be singling out black men some of these black men in certain communities and just pointing out their dysfunction, they should be doing it all over, pointing out different races of men and there's dysfunction too, and say, listen, it's okay if you want to date outside your race. That's totally fine. It's cool. But don't be dogging down black men. It's so funny. These women say we don't like black men, but yet continue to talk down on black men. All right, y'all don't want them, so who gives a fuck? Move on. Talk about something else. Talk about how you could get somebody else. You know what I'm saying? But they don't think about that. They just think about feelings, because to women, feelings are facts. And how they feel is way more important than what logically is happening. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it real. And that's what it is. And that's basically my 2 cents on the matter. You know what I'm saying? That's basically my 2 cents on the matter. Anyway, moving on to my next topic. The Proud Boys. Oh shit. The Proud Boys. Now the Proud Boys, the Proud Boys leader recently, it was announced on multiple news articles that the Proud Boys leader, which is he's a Latino, is it Enrique or some shit like that, was announced that he is an informant for the FBI. Oh shit. Oh my god. Oh no. He's a motherfucking informant for the FBI. Ah shit. So this came out. Everybody was going crazy for it, right? Oh shit, this is crazy. Oh my god, insane, blah 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 blah, right? And I'm just sitting down and I'm just reading this and I'm like, okay, interesting. And this is funny because I try to co-sign Grandmaster Jay, and I kind of even did a disclaimer on my next episode, just talking about, listen, I don't want no parts of this shit. Like, but didn't Grandmaster Jay co-sign the Proud Boys? Is kind of not looking pretty. It's kind of looking a little shaky for Grandmaster Jay out here. I don't know. But he co-signed the Proud Boys, and now the Proud Boys leader is an informant. Now, the news articles didn't really specify on when he became an informant or why he became an informant or whatever the case is, right? It didn't really specify. But I will say that either two things come to mind, right? Two things come to mind. This dude was an informant this whole goddamn time, and I'm fucking proud of that. You know, a Latino's gonna take down a fucking white supremacist organization, right? Or my man got caught up on some shit and then flipped. So it's either those two things. Now let me give you guys either one, right? I gotta get more information on it, right? But if he was already an informant this whole time and he wanted, you know, to take down a white supremacist organization, shout out to that brother right there. Shout out to that brother. And mind you, that theory right there doesn't hold that much water, okay? I just want to put that out there. That theory of mine does not hold that much water. It's probably like, I'm gonna say possibility of that theory being possible, I'll say 15 to 20%. You know, that he went up in there and wanted to take down this group or whatever the case is. If that was the case, shout out to that brother right there. Much respect. You know what I mean? Latinos out here, you know, taking care of white supremacy, you know what I mean? Shout out to him. If that's the case. Now, the other theory of him flipping, I give that more of a 80 to 85% possibility of him flipping. That he got caught up, he starts flipping, and he flipped on his organization and all that. Now, let's be real. The Proud Boys is a white supremacist organization. That's basically what it is. Let's not call it something else. It is. It's a white supremacist organization. You know what I'm saying? The fact that these people are still out here operating should be a fucking crime. Okay? Should be a crime. And miss me, from all my retractors, miss me with the whole Black Lives Matter thing, because Black Lives Matter isn't a group whatsoever. White people run that shit. It's a democratic foundation. That's all it is. Let's keep it real for what it really is. There's no such thing as the group Black Lives Matter, all right? Any black person that goes out there and protests, y'all just label as Black Lives Matter and that's it. So, the Proud Boys leader, he came out, it came out that he's an informant and on court documents and stuff, and we don't know what he informed the FBI about the organization, but it can't be that good. You know what I'm saying? It cannot be that good, because if these people are still going to allow him to stay around, then Jesus Christ, you know what I mean? The shit's gonna be fucking shaky, baby. You know what I mean? Anyway, moving on to my next topic. Canada labeling white supremacists a terrorist group. It's about goddamn fucking time. So, Canada decided to, or they're still on in the talks, to label white supremacist groups a terrorist, white supremacist organizations a terrorist group. And the reason why they decided to do so is because there's been an uptick in white supremacist activity in Canada for the past few years, and they have committed acts of violence amongst the citizens of Canada up in there. And they basically came to the agreement that they all believe in the same thing, regardless of whatever group you are in. You're still a white supremacist group, and you're committing acts of terror. We're going to label you a white supremacist group, and now you are labeled a terrorist group, which is a good thing. Shout out to Canada. Why did it fucking take them so long? I have no idea. All right, I have no idea. But shout out to Canada. Canada is very different and weird from the United States. It's very different and weird, but they do a lot of good things. You know what I mean? They do a lot of good things, free healthcare and all that. But they did label, white supremacist group a terrorist organization out there. Now it's very dangerous, because now what they label a white supremacist group is very cut and dry. If you really look at these articles, they're talking about, if you are a hate group, if you're part of an organization that's a hate group, and you believe in this and this and this and this, basically, or all of their ideologies out there, you are considered a white supremacist, which will make you a terrorist group. That's pretty much cut and dry. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much cut and dry. So I want to give a huge shout out to Canadians and Canada itself. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to y'all. Even though this dude was wearing blackface, but I'm not gonna go in there. I'm not gonna go with that. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Shout out to Canada and my Canadians. You know what I mean? Anyway, moving on to the main topic at hand. Exploring intra-racism. Now, what is intra-racism? Let me give you guys a little bit of backstory, right? So, I was online into these colorism, YouTube channels and chat rooms and stuff like that, and I was just basically getting some material for some of my talking points when I was gonna go at Adon and light skin motivation, right? I'm just basically getting some talking points, and I ran across a post that this person basically said, listen, I am a light-skinned black person, blah 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 blah. This is a perfect example of intra-racism. And I heard of internal racism, but I haven't never heard of intra-racism. Even when I Google it, it seems to not even pop up. So I'm thinking it's a term that's already made up or something like that. So fuck it, here I go. I'm using the term, I'm making it up, so whatever. It could be called anything else, internal racism or something like that, but I call it intra-racism based on what I've heard from that post. So I didn't make it up, so I just want to let y'all know, right? But anyway, so I decided to write back to this post, and they responded, and me and this person was going back and forth responding on the post so I could further understand what this intra-racism means. Like, it basically goes down like this. Intra-racism means any group that, or any person that's non-white, any non-white group or any person that's non-white that spews racist or white supremacist talking points amongst their own group or some other group is classified within this word of intra-racism. Now, a lot of people like myself say that black people can't be racist, they can be prejudiced. I still stand by that. But by this definition, the word racism is there, but you guys could overlook that and say intra-prejudice, whatever. The whole point is there are a lot of other black people out here who do spew internal hatred amongst their own people and other people. Let me give you guys an example. The ADOS movement. An example right there. ADOS is extremely, especially FBA, it's extremely divisive amongst other black people that are immigrants. Extremely divisive. And I hear comments such as, Africans brought in AIDS over here. You know, all of this other craziness, you know. Africans bring in the drugs and the crime, or Belize people bring it, which is insane. You are going into divisiveness and having white supremacist talking points. Why? There's no need for none of that. Immigrants are not stopping you from getting reparations, so why, you know, continue with the whole divisiveness? You know, if you don't want to include immigrants, okay, just don't talk about them. Leave them alone, you know, but that's an example. Another example of intra-racism amongst black people, the divesting community. The divesting community right there, that's another example of intra-racism. Talking about calling the black community Blackistan, calling a black women who actually get with black men, saying, yeah, well, I think you guys are bugging, pignishas, and all this other craziness. Like, y'all crazy? That's another form of intra-racism. Here's another one. Colorism. Colorism is another form of intra-racism. That's the basic, that should be the basic, I shouldn't even have to explain that. You know what I'm saying? That's a form of intra-racism. And this happens in the Latin community also. This definitely happens in the Latin community also. Anti-blackness, intra-racism. You know what I'm saying? Dominicans versus Haitians, and if you're on some racist shit, intra-racism. It's the same thing. I totally understand, and this is where I just stay shutting. I don't even go along with it, but if I'm going to talk about it, I'll talk about it. When a lot of people like to say about Dominicans and Haitians, Dominicans are racist. Dominicans are racist. And I'm like, wait a minute. Don't you go and say that most Dominicans are black? Yeah, most Dominicans are black. But Dominicans are racist? Yeah, Dominicans are racist. So you're saying black people could be racist? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm like, so which one is it? You know what I mean? It doesn't really make sense. You know what I mean? Again, I do stand by this. Black people cannot be racist. During the system of white supremacy, you can't. You can't, because you need power to be to enact racism. You know what I'm saying? But with this definition, if you want to add the word racism in it, that's on you. But on this definition, anybody that's non-white can within this definition be practice intra-racism. Anybody within this definition can practice intra-racism. Black, Asian, Latin, Indian, doesn't matter. Green, doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Anybody within this definition can practice intra-racism. And I already gave you guys some examples on that. You know what I'm saying? Anybody could practice intra-racism. Anybody. Because the thing is, for some reason, we always try to find little small things to divide us. I have no idea why. Even within black folks, even within Latin people, we always find small things to divide us. In Latin people, oh, you don't speak Spanish the same way I do. Or you too dark to be either, some people would say Dominican, right? Some people would say Dominican, but you too dark to be, what, you Panamanian? Nah, you too black to be Panamanian. On some bullshit. On some dumb shit. So I heard some black people say, you black, why you speaking Spanish? Like, wait, what? What? You know what I'm saying? Intra-racism. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. It's a real thing, and it's time for us to actually, talk about it. Because in the concept of white supremacy, we have to understand, whenever I say white supremacy, I'm not talking about just white people. I'm talking about the systematic practice, because white supremacy has done something very, 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 very volatile to us. Not only did we get affected by white supremacy, but we also got infected with the idea of white supremacy. To the point that we're walking around here thinking like one of them. Judging our peers like one of them. Doing some colorism bullshit. Bleaching our skin. Are y'all crazy? That's intra-racism right there. That's the main definition for it. The main definition for it. You know what I'm saying? We should not be going out here just, picking apart each other on some fucking dumb bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Mind you, back before we were colonized. I'm talking to my Latin people. And actually, this actually applies to African people too, the black people too. Before we were colonized, we gotta remember the indigenous people of the Americas and the Caribbean, even the indigenous people, the Africans up in Africa, never went on this whole light, dark bullshit. There was a lot of tribalism within tribes. This is even happening with the natives. There was a lot of, tribalism, but never on some colorism. You know who invented that shit? The Europeans. The Europeans came in with some other concept of colorism to divide us. And they did a great job at that, to the point where we have stupid little dumb shit like mejorando la raza, bettering the race. Within some Latin people, within some Latin households, they believe that. You gotta lighten your race. You gotta lighten your race. Some of them believe that shit. Some black people believe that, they need to bleach their skin. And they want to get with a white man because they have cute babies. And they pass that shit along to their offspring. Which is insane. We should not be out here looking at our own people or people within our communities who's having the same struggles as us, as somebody like infiltrators and all this other stuff. Nah, that's crazy. That's insane. Let's not think like our oppressors. We gotta start thinking like ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We definitely gotta start thinking like ourselves. We shouldn't be thinking like them. We shouldn't be even try to emulate them. We should be thinking like ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Now, with that being said, I hope you guys liked this episode. If you disagree with anything I said, go to the comments down below. Write a comment. I definitely will answer it next week. Remember, if you guys want to hit me up, I'm on Instagram and Twitter at the same name, radical_Latino_. And also go check out my workout plans if you guys want to get right, you know, for the summer and all that other stuff. Go purchase a workout plan and, you know, y'all could do y'all thing. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, I'm going to catch y'all later, and I'm going to leave y'all like I always do. I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees. With that being said, I'm going to catch y'all later. Peace.